Say the degree one more time.
I study Shakespeare.
Okay, Shakespeare.
Can someone explain to me how I have 4 degrees and still can't get a job?
Yo, this job market seriously got me reconsidering all of my life decisions. I went and got a f***ing arts degree in school, a theater degree. I'm cooked.
So there's a lot going on right now with people just deciding their degrees were not worth it. They're so far behind and so far underwater that they're wanting to give up because there's no way they can claw themselves out of the mound of student loans that they have put themselves into. Let's listen to some of these videos and let's hear from them because we got to talk about this and I want to know all your comments in the comment section below. Let's roll.
Can someone explain to me how I have 4 degrees and still can't get a job? BA in communication, BA in Spanish, BFA in dance. Get ready for this one. Master's degree in freaking journalism. Mind you, I've gotten laid off not once, not twice, but 3 times in the span of 2 years. So if you're feeling behind, just know you're not alone.
What are you studying?
I am studying creative writing.
Going to a private institution for a degree that typically does not have the best return on investment.
But I have a passion for this kind of writing.
But
so
is the degree required? Do you have a degree?
Yeah, I have a degree.
In?
Liberal math.
Hey, what can we get into?
I don't know. What can you get into?
Hey now, I have a liberal arts degree. It got me in the Army, got me a commission in the Army, check the block. But was it the best idea? No. Okay, but some of these, what was the counselors thinking? And I almost believe that a financial advisor and a counselor for students in college should have the same headspace here because it is a financial decision with somebody with no skill set in finance telling people to do that could change the rest of their life. Bad financial advice starts with counselors at college. I remember when they sold me that bill of goods.
What are you studying?
Graphic communications. It's a super basic art degree.
Okay, so unemployment. Got it. We built up $75,000 of student loan debt. Say the degree one more time.
I study Shakespeare.
Okay, Shakespeare.
Both of these can be taken up by AI. AI can do graphic design like it's no other. It can do writing like it's no other. People are just going to tell a prompt to do something, it's going to write it, and then it's going to give it some, you're going to give it some more prompts, and you're going to tell it to augment it. Writing is going to die in the future, and the fact that we've always been judged on how we write, but then a computer will do our writing in the future. I asked AI to build me a buyer's guide for real estate the other day that was like 15 pages long. It took me 30 seconds, and it was marvelous. It would have took me a month of typing to do that. It's just a better way now. And if you're legal research and writing, any type of documents that can be inputted and augmented by a computer, that's going away in the future. Go try right now, ChatGPT 5, get it to create you an Excel spreadsheet at scale. Amazing what it can do.
Lovely guy. What are you going to do with that?
Well, that's such a complicated question.
Oh, no.
This is where you just have to say, we come from different worlds. You're not going to understand this.
What do you mean?
You won't understand like the precarity and why it's really all right.
What do you mean though?
Like your reaction there was like, oh,
I studied music composition in college. I was in the College of Arts School of Music, but I asked the job and you didn't know what to say.
So I have a lot of experience working at writing centers.
Okay.
So I could be, that, there's availability for those kinds of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I also, something I really enjoy is like working with people, who, are like applying to college.
I think he's trying to make fun of anybody. I think he's just trying to say, degree in Shakespeare doesn't really pay well. And if it doesn't check a block for something else, what are you going to do with it? You pay $100,000 for a degree in Shakespeare. You pay $100,000 or $50,000 for a degree in liberal art. What are you going to do with it? I will say my battalion commander when I was in the Army had a degree in art. It did check the block to become an Army officer. And then he got education once he was in. But unless you're checking a block, most of these degrees are worthless.
If you're going to college for business and you're paying for it, you're getting robbed. And let me hold your hand when I say this before someone from Pi Kappa Phi comments, but the networking. I've been doing a lot of research on this, and it's not every professor, not every college, but if you ask majority of your professors what business that they own, that they had a lead position in, or what they did for whatever company they worked for, whether they took them from A to B, whatever accomplishment, they don't got much to say. For example, one college that I was...
This is so true. It was my second year in MBA business school when I realized none of these cats had ever had a job. And I was coming back from the Army where I've been briefing generals and stuff, and they were trying to tell me, some adjutant professor was trying to tell me how to brief somebody, and this cat had never even been out of the classroom. It was shocking once I figured out you're only there for networking and business. And this one business professor I had came in all wrinkled clothes one day, hadn't even combed his hair. And I realized this guy's never been out of academia. And he's telling moi what I need to do in life. He could barely feed himself. And I'm going to take and spend all this time and stress trying to pass his test. I went and started a business. It worked out very well. If you're wanting to go to school for business, just go start a business. Unless you're trying to work from somebody. And most of the time, like at a hospital or whatever, they want you to have these MBAs. And these MBAs, I think in the future are going to be worthless because you can just get an AI model to do it for you. Just implement it. Go learn sales. Go learn a skill set. Go start a business. You learn all you want about business. Because most of the time it goes like this. I got a problem today in business. How do you do this type of accounting? Watch a couple YouTube videos. Okay, I have an idea on this type of accounting. And then I'm going to go hire somebody that knows it better than me. I just need to know the details to get to that point to write a check, and then it gets done.
Looking into one of the top professors in the business school, when I was looking at his credentials and publications and everything, all he had to show for it was 300 books that he wrote on research. It's my opinion, but professors are in college teaching business because they don't actually know how to run a business. They just have the degree to teach it. Also, if you're so passionate and you did so much with your business and you were so successful, why are you spending your time teaching? And I get it. Some people are, I'm sure, are passionate about it, but it's like...
Think about it. It takes, what, like 10 years to get a PhD and then get into teaching and then get tenured. You weren't running a business. You weren't doing anything. You were in academia, okay? And you were writing about it. And then there was dudes out there doing it, like actually in the trenches. And the crazy thing about it, the dude that was in the trenches and created a multi-million-dollar business or a $10 million or up business, they wouldn't even let those guys teach at an institution because you don't have a PhD. It's like, nah, man, I didn't have time to get the PhD. I was busy making the $1 million and trying to run a business that you'll write a book about me for in the future and then probably say something catty like I was wrong when you didn't even do it. I know some of these people, and I'm like, what makes you the expert? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Here's the thing, and this happened to me in college. This is why I am where I am today, because I asked my business professor, and I was like, so, like, what did you do? What business did you run? Like, what position were you in? Like, what did you do? And he looked at me dead in the eye and was like, oh, nothing. I got, my degree, got enough, credentials, and now I just teach.
Don't get me wrong, I love professors, we need professors, but the idea of how academia gets professors is pretty mind-boggling. It's like they have these cliquey, you've got to have these institutional PhDs or high-level graduate level master's degrees that usually came from their university, so you'll go buy these degrees when all you can do, you can literally read these books by yourself. You don't have to go to the institution. You can go read the book and you can go apply it to something real in the world and change a life, change an industry, and that's what the really rich guys are out there doing it, like the real estate guys, for example. They're not going to go teach real estate. They're going to go do another commercial district and make $10 million. They're not going to take their time out of their field that they're really good at to go teach it. And I think they would if universities like actually grasp this idea like, hey, there's this guy downtown and he's done this at a very high level. Probably doesn't even have a bachelor's degree. Probably got a bachelor's at minimum because he had to go into the field. But you won't let him speak on that topic because you want to be the authority. You want the institution's PhD because you want to sell a PhD. You're selling a product which is a master's or a PhD. And I think in the future, especially in the entrepreneur world, they're just going to go into the field and they're going to go crush it. And you can write a book about them later. This is just my opinion on this. I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to be, as an entrepreneur in the field, this is how I see academia because it's so frustrating. So frustrating. I know exactly what she's talking about.
He was young. So I was like, oh, if you're young and teaching business, like, what are you doing that's so cool that you get to stand up here and teach me? Would you ever pay someone to learn how to do a heart surgery if they've never done a heart surgery? What if I told you I got paid to learn how to run a business? It wasn't glamorous. You can literally get paid to learn how to do business. How did I do it? I have worked for multiple high earning individuals at the bottom of the totem pole. And guess what? I kept nudging my way, giving ideas, being smart. You're old, I'm young, I have new ideas, and you're still stuck in 2000. And that is how I worked.
Fact, if I said go work for a rich guy, even for free, follow him around for a year and see how he does stuff and do everything he does, and you'll learn more in that year than you ever would in academia or in university. If he's got a notebook in his hand all the time, for a reason. If he's talking to everybody for like a certain way for a reason, shaking hands, dressing nice, go get you a suit, look just like him, act like him, think like him, and pretty soon you're going to be like him, and then you stay in that industry. As long as it doesn't require like a law degree or something like that, like in sales. You want to be a great real estate agent? Go to the best brokerage you possibly can. Ask the best agent you possibly can if you can work for them for free. Do everything they can. Take notes and then go apply it. And I guarantee you'll be great. It's a skill set you learn over time that there's no gatekeeper to besides just asking if you can be a part of it. Sides of the envelope here we got right here. I just graduated with a finance degree. I'm making $90K right out of school. I'd like to know where, okay? Unless you're a CPA, EA, you've got some type of post-finance degree. I don't know. I'm calling that one. What do y'all think? Comments down below. Business degrees are not worth it to run a business. No. You can learn how to do all the Excel spreadsheets afterwards. You can hire somebody to do it. And most of the time when you're setting up a business, you're trying to be a master of a lot of things. And when I went to business school, none of those things, besides time, value, and money, and being organized, those were the main things. I did learn a lot in legal research and writing because I had to learn how to set up my own businesses, like legally. You don't have that kind of money when you're starting out, and most attorneys won't even talk to you, okay? When you walk in there with a stack of books and you're like a beginning entrepreneur and they know that, they're not going to talk to you, okay? So you're going to have to do most of your legal research and writing yourself. Just is what it is.
Yo, this job market seriously got me reconsidering all of my life decisions. I went and got a fucking arts degree in school, a theater degree. I'm cooked. I'm genuinely cooked. I'm in my late 20s, right? I should be, I mean, the marker of your late 20s is you're starting to see some serious money actually come in. You're starting to see an adult income happen. That's not happening. That's really not going to happen anytime soon. I have to go back to school for literally anything else because I spent all of my 20s toiling away at stupid jobs that don't pay me enough money to actually save anything or invest in anything. I've never had health insurance. I've never had a 401k. This degree that I got has actually ruined my life. Every single adult around me, by the way, told me that I should go to school just for anything, for something. And I thought I wanted to go to school for arts. And maybe because what every adult was telling me, I'd be able to get a job in like HR or something out of school. Or maybe I could work in like, I don't know, a call center. I don't know what the fuck I thought. I thought I would be able to make like at least $50,000 a year in some job that would see my degree and be like, oh, at least he can work. That's not how today's economy works at all. You need a fucking degree for the thing you're going into. They have HR degrees, right? They have literal HR degrees. For some reason, I thought I could just walk into an office and give him my resume and be like, I'm a tough worker, and give him a hard handshake, and that would be that. I get the fucking job. What was I thinking? I was thinking that because every adult around me told me that's how reality works. Are they stupid? I think so. I think the adults around me are either they have horse blinders on, or they're just actually low IQ. What fucking idiots. Literally, okay, I was a child going into school. 18 years old, your frontal lobe is barely starting to cook. It's barely starting to function. The only thing my frontal lobe was telling me how to do was brush my teeth and take a shower on a regular basis, right? That's the only thing my frontal lobe was doing now. And now my frontal lobe, being fully cooked at 27, is telling me how much of a fucking failure I am and how much my life needs to change in order to actually go somewhere and plan for the future and like have an income that will sustain me for the rest of my life.
This was me with an undergraduate in criminal justice and legal studies. What was I going to do with that? It was 2008. Federal law enforcement wasn't hiring, and the U.S. Army was cooking off dudes in Iraq. And I knew I was kind of strong, and I was like, you know what? I can do that. So I went to officer candidate school, right? I went in the Army as a lieutenant. Because I was in the same position, and I just look at this guy and I'm like, is it because he just doesn't know where to go? It took me a long time to figure that out. Or he doesn't want to. And I want to know your thoughts down below. This is all a learning curve for all of us because mentorship starts at college. I blame the counselors for not saying, here's your options with this degree. And they actually made sense because I remember looking at the degree plan at the University of West Florida, and none of the degrees, as I'm looking back right now, applied to anything other than going into law enforcement or being a teacher or, engineering and biology and stuff like that went a certain way. But it was shit hard to get into law school, okay? And you had to be able to afford that. It was like every degree had to have a counterpart master's or JD or PhD. That was the treadmill they put you on. And I went in, some of the people around me in the Army was in the same position, sold a bill of goods, and like, what do we do with these degrees other than the Army would let me in? And yeah, you got a good job as a Army officer, great job, great plan if you're looking for something out there, but you can be in some pretty hazardous situations. And it really hit me on the head when I applied to the Air Force OCS, and they were like, degree in what? Like, we need technical degrees over here. And I was like, wait a minute, I was thinking back, I was like, they didn't even really have those at UWF. And nobody even taught me about those because nobody really understood technology back then. It was like, early 2000s. Sold a bad bill of goods. Sold. I'm still irritated about it.
So now I got my frontal lobe yelling at me every day, telling me I'm a fucking loser fuck up because I got a degree in something that absolutely means nothing, okay? And I got the pressure of a silent depression going on, and I'm making zero money. I'm literally, I had to cut my food expenses down to the point where I'm only eating once, maybe twice a day. And the protein that I'm taking in is chicken and tofu. I haven't had red meat. I haven't bought beef in probably almost a year. You do not want to live this reality. You do not want to live this reality. If you can find anything, if you can literally do anything except to get an arts degree, I am.
Go into sales, okay? You've been sold a bill of goods, it's bad. Go into sales. He's really articulate. He's smart. You can tell he's smart. They just stuck him in the wrong direction. He needs to be talking for a living. He needs to go and learn how to sell a really expensive product and go out there and conquer. One of the highest paying jobs out there is sales, okay? Whether it's selling on a camera or it's selling a product, sales. For all you boys and ladies out there that can talk, sales. Pharmaceutical sales, automobile sales, yacht sales, real estate sales, everything needs to be sold. You're selling no matter what. You're selling yourself to your spouse. Everything is sales, okay? Learn sales. And for all the kids out there that the teachers told you to shut up in school, don't listen to it. That was your calling. Go learn how to talk because they told me to shut up in school. And that was what I made all my money with, was talking. Don't listen to some of these people. Yeah, I love my teachers out there. I love y'all. Y'all are a different brain set of some people out there that can talk. If you have a skill set, nurture it. Let it fly.
So this person wants to know how I'm $180,000 in college debt at the age of 24 and I've only obtained a bachelor's degree. So I have a 4-year Bachelor's of Science and Environmental Science degree from a public out-of-state university. And I did not originally borrow $180,000 for this degree. I originally borrowed about $130,000 privately and then like $20,000 I think federally across the 4 years. So why did I borrow $130,000 privately in the first place? Well, I never intended to. I intended to borrow enough money for the private loan for the first year to pay for out-of-state tuition and then try for in-state tuition the following years, except I went to school in the fall of 2019 and then in the spring of 2020, COVID-19 happened and never really let up until the spring of 2022, which was the end of my junior year of college. So the in-state tuition thing never really happened for me, which was my original plan. Originally, I did not intend for it to cost as much or catch up to me as much. I also paid on those private loans while I was in school, and I had paid back $50,000 of the $130,000.
Where were the adults in this conversation? I mean, come on.
My remaining balance or new balance on my loans was $160,000. So leaving school, they have me for $80,000 worth of interest.
The first problem right here was out-of-state school. Okay, I get some people want to go to a school with a football team. I get that you want to have an experience, but you don't do it like this. Financial catastrophe she'll never get out from underneath it.
Loan. Because I borrowed $130, I paid back $50, I then owe $160. My minimum monthly payment, which I currently pay every month, is $2,300, almost $2,400. And I was told unless I could pay $4,000 a month by both the loan company I went through, which was Sallie Mae, and some other banks and some other number crunching people and the National Debt Relief people, that if I don't pay a minimum amount of like $4,000 or more a month, or if I keep paying the minimum $2,300, almost $2,400 that I am paying a month over the lifetime of the loan, if I do not default on it, which is a struggle because I still have to buy food, pay for rent, medical care, not really existent for me at this point. If I don't default and I pay that amount over the lifetime of the loan, I don't even want to say it. They told me it would cost me $750,000. $750,000 paid back on 130.
Environmental science degree, there is no way she will be able to make the amount of money for that degree. How is that legal? And I've said this at end on these videos, that the school student loans stuff is an absolute scam. It is the federal government securing your future labor unbankruptable until you pay it off. And they fix it where you can't pay it off. She should have gone into something that didn't require a degree, or you get what you can in state, pay for it with cash. Dave Ramsey was right. This is insanity. Whoever mentored this lady, you should be fired. And if you're a counselor at a university telling people this, you should be fired. Like, no, a degree is not always the way. You can get mega wealthy without a degree. You can make a living without a degree. You don't have to have a degree. But if you can get a degree, get one. If you can afford it. But this isn't the way. There are many places out there that will fund your college degree. Even Taco Bell will fund you through college if you work there. This is insanity.
$1,000 loan. So, yeah, I'm in that much debt because I didn't pay attention to the amount I was borrowing, or the interest rates, or the fact that they were variable interest rates and they might have started at like 4 or 5%, like the federal ones, and then they went up to 12.5%, 16.5%. And even though I paid them as much as I could and had a job, part-time, full-time job, the entire time I was in school, the interest is still catching up to me. So the only thing I can do is refinance, but I can't refinance until I fix my debt to income. So I'm just working as much as possible to make as much as possible to try to snowball effect on these loans so that I can get the balance low enough and have my income be high enough to try to refinance and lower these interest rates.
I want to know what you think, comments down below, but if you did this deal in real estate on an old person or a young person, the judge would hem you up from the floor up, okay, and probably toss it out. The usury laws would eat you up. But they can do this to an 18-year-old, probably with no guidance, at an insane adjustable rate on no asset other than your labor, okay? And it's okay. That's insane. That's all I gotta say. I had to make this video because some of this stuff is just out of control. And if you're out there and you're a young person, please watch my videos of when I've talked about this. There are things out there you can do without a degree. Don't get baked into it. You just have to use your head, and it's gonna be hard. Either you're learning a trade, you're learning sales, you're learning a skill set that nobody else is gonna have, because in the future, AI is gonna do these things, okay? You can look up any of this stuff en masse at scale with AI in the next 5 or 10 years. So learn a skill set. Go learn something outside of the, learn to weld, learn to do electricity, learn to do things that don't require student loans. That's all I got to say about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you're looking to buy real estate on the Gulf Coast, Florida, Alabama, or anywhere in the country. I can help you find somebody if I can't help you. I'll see you guys in the next video.